All right. Since I've got a lot of stuff I'm gonna be swapping back and forth between windows quite a bit. So if you guys have a question, I am gonna need you to unmute yourself and just speak up. You won't upset me if you have a question. So, okay, so we are gonna go over 10 tips for Facebook lead generation today. I've got some definitions I want to do first to really understand what I mean by lead generation. This might be a review for some of you who are already really familiar with Facebook ads and lead generation in particular, but I wanted to start from just a really foundational level just so that everybody was on the same page. I'm also going to show you guys the challenges of advertising with a special ad category on Facebook, because things have changed quite a bit. If you've done Facebook advertising in the past, at the end of 2019, there were some major changes that had to do with the Equal Housing Opportunity Act, I think is what it's called, Equal Housing Opportunity. And then we will get into those 10 tips. So just to make sure everybody can see my screen and they can hear me, right? Good, okay. Okay, and please do not feel like you have to write this down. I will be sending this slide deck out to everybody after the class is over, okay? So what is lead generation? I am gonna mute my phone because my mom has been blowing me up. Okay. So on social media, there's two kinds of lead generation that I want to talk about in this class. There's brand awareness, which is reach. You'll see that word a lot. Reach is basically trying to get your ad, your face, your brand in front of as many people as possible. So you're not necessarily asking them to give you contact information or like the post or comment, or get in front of their eyeballs. And so Facebook's algorithm or whatever will do that. It says my will hope people are still there. So in real estate, your brand 90% of the time is your face, because you can have a logo, you can have a beautiful color palette, but what visually separates you from another real estate agent besides your service and reviews and stuff is your face. So you need that out there. You need to be in your videos. You need to be on your cover. Your face is your brand when you're in real estate. When you're doing posts, it's going to take a while. It's meant to be more organic. You can certainly run ads or boost posts for reach, but it's not meant to be a quick thing like conversions, like lead gaining contact information conversions. So I'll go into a little bit later what kinds of posts are good to boost versus run a paid ad for, but I wanted to just make sure that you guys understood the difference between like a brand awareness reach versus literally getting somebody's contact information. So conversions, which is you get a name, a phone number, an email, something about the person. It's more expensive because it's more competitive. That's what most people are doing when they're running ads. So therefore you need to spend more money to rise above the rest of the noise on social media. It can also drive your business faster because you're paying to give someone a value so that they give you their contact information. It's very cut and dry, it's very formulaic, and the data is really nice because there's not a lot of gray area. Whereas with brand awareness, it's really hard to gather, like, is this a good investment? Am I spending money on something worthwhile? Because getting your face out there is not concrete, right? You can't really go, am I in your brain? Am I in your brain? Like, if you've got contact information, then you have got a lead. Does that make sense? The difference? Okay. I see a couple of you nodding. So are there any questions about these? And I will tell you, there are a ton of different other ways of lead generation. But for this class, these are the two I want to simplify it to. Do you guys have any questions about these two types of lead generation? Okay, so I'm going to do a very surface level overview of the special ad category that is housing. And it's not so great. So let me hop over here. And I'm going to try to move this window. Do not care about that. Okay, so what you are looking at right now, you are the inside scoop to Realty One Group's ad manager. So the ads that we run now are pretty much recruitment ads. But back in the day when we were Prosper Properties, we were running ads to buyers and sellers, just like you guys do. So it was so much easier back then, and I am going to show you why. I'm going to create an ad, and I am just going to say I want people to go to my website. And later when I come back and go, what on earth was I doing here? Okay, so you can see here after you name the campaign, there's the special ad categories. You're required to declare if your ads are related to credit, employment, housing, social issues, elections, or politics. Basically has to do with discrimination. You guys know that your seller can't tell a buyer, I don't want you to buy my house because you don't make enough money. Well, that's not the seller's job to determine. That's the lender's job to determine. They are the ones that get to decide who can buy a house and who can't buy a house. The seller cannot make any discrimination based on income, race, religion. I mean, you guys know this spiel. They went over this with y'all in school. So Facebook, not to their own liking, the government came in and said, hey, you guys can't discriminate. You guys can't market only to people who make over 100,000 a year, only to people who are age 25 and older. You have to advertise to everybody when they're in one of these special ad categories. Okay, so before I toggle this on, I'm going to show you if you weren't running a housing ad. Sorry, I got to kind of get through the junk here. Okay, so here's audiences. If I'm not running a housing ad, which pretty much you guys are going to be only running housing ads, I could define how old, I could define the gender, I could, any kind of demographics or interests. So I used to be able to say people who are interested in moving, people who make over $100,000 a year, people who work at Tesla. That was a question I had from an agent. How do I target people who work at Tesla that might be relocating? Well, you can't because that's where they work. That's discriminating based on their employer. So that's the hard news, is that when you are running a housing ad, and I will back up, I'm going to turn this on, and I will declare that it is a housing ad. So real estate listings, mortgage people, homeowners insurance, you know, you guys are the real estate listings. So I've chosen housing, and I'm going to go back over to that area where it shows me to target. It locks the age, it locks the gender. I am not able to do anything as far as expansion. I have to do it with location. The smallest I can go The
What's the
smallest I
temperature
can
outside?
go is 15 miles. Okay, so if you're running an open house and you want to target people that live around the open house, you're going to get a whole lot more than just those people that live around the open house. Okay, so the one hack that I will show you here that really helps.
Foster. Foster.
Somebody's yelling at Foster.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
That's me.
Okay, so an interest here is Zillow and Trulia, and that's actually Premier Agent. That's not what I want. Zillow. There, Zillow. Okay, so I've not defined any other metrics, so it's not going to pull up anything right here, but it'll show you over here the reach. So by defining someone's interest in Zillow, they are interested in moving or selling or things that are on Zillow. Does that make sense? So you've kind of targeted a demographic, an interest, because you're at least going to be shown, your ad or your post is going to be shown to people who are in that mindset, who are on the Zillow website, who are interested in things, all things Zillow. Now, does that mean you're still going to get other real estate agents? Absolutely, because you cannot exclude based on employment. So just know that your competitors are going to see that really awesome ad you're running. I could go into this whole ads manager thing like for a whole nother hour, but I wanted to show you guys just the real broad overview of how a special ad category really limits you as far as targeting. Are there any really basic questions on what I've shown you here? Okay.
I have one.
Adrian,
Oh, okay.
Did I interrupt somebody?
go ahead, Chris.
Thank you. I know that you used to be able to target people that were not living in the area, but they're visiting. Can you still do that?
Yes. There is locations, people living in or recently in. So if you click that, those are all the options you have.
Oh, okay. Okay. There you go. Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Adrian,
Yes.
so I am an apprentice when it comes to Facebook ads. Would you be able to book some time with us one-on-one to go through one of these?
Yes, so I can teach you to fish. I just can't fish for you. So anytime you want to book with me, I can show you how to set up an ad. I'm just not able to run it for you and do the analytics or anything like that.
Okay. Sounds good.
Does that help?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Hey, Adrian,
Yes.
question for you. But this is for Realty One Group, right? We can't do this behind the scenes, or is that on a Facebook? We can go behind the scenes like that to do an ad.
You have to have a Facebook business page. I'm just using the brokerage's Facebook page as an example. You are not able to run ads on your personal profile.
Perfect. Thank you.
Are there any other questions on Ads Manager, for at least what I've shown you? Okay. Let me flip book over here. Okay. Now it's time for the good stuff. All right, so tip number one, give them somewhere to go. Good places to go. You don't want, or good places to go. You want them to go someplace that they can actually give you information. So a website that has some kind of focused lead capture. Facebook Messenger. So Facebook Messenger allows you to see somebody's Facebook profile connected with that message. So even if they don't give you their phone number or their email, at least you have a profile that you can occasionally message directly. You can build a relationship with them. You can see what other kind of groups they're in. You can also use it as an ad goal. So instead of like I showed you in the ads manager that I was trying to drive traffic to a website, you can also have the call to action on your ad be send me a message on Facebook. I'm going to show you an example of a focused page. And if you've been in a class with me before, you've seen these guys. I like to pick on the Humphreys. So they've got a page on their website that is a landing page. So it's not their home page. This is a page that when they run an ad, it's specifically to homes in Hays County under 250K. So, you know, someone who's probably a first-time home buyer or who's needing, you know, I mean, it's sad to say that a home in Hays under 250 is it's not low income. What is the word I'm looking for? Like, it's a deal. There aren't very many, and you're really going to need an agent to help you find something like this. I mean, good Lord, there's only 110 homes. So my internet's really slow, which is why these pictures aren't loading. So I just turned it off, but normally pictures would load here. So it gives people a chance to view listings. And then as they go into a listing, I think the Humphreys have it set up that after they view 3 properties, a form comes up and requires them to give contact information before they can continue browsing. Okay, so you can force that if your website allows. They're using Sync, and so Sync allows you to do that. That's one of the platforms we offer. So you can gate, you can keep people from using the website until they provide that contact information. So that is a form of focused lead capture. I put Facebook business page here at the bottom in italics, only because if your Facebook page has good content on it, that is a good place to send someone because they're going to get to know you there. They're going to see other posts you've done that could possibly lead them to a place to give you contact information. It's just not as focused, if that makes sense. Like it's a good place to go, but I would put it at the bottom of the list. So bad places to go. I have no idea who Austin Homegirls Realty is. I just saw it because that's what I do, is I surf the internet and look at competition. So if you know these ladies, I'm sure they're very nice, but I don't know them, so I'm not trying to pick on them. They just have a very beautiful website, and it's, you know, it's very fancy, but there's nothing to do here. So I can look at these homes. I'm trying to look at a home. Let's see, that one's sold. Let's look at this one under contract. So this is some website that I guess their photographer did. Like there's no focus here. There's no call to action. Go back up. They have a lot of office listings on the world's longest drop down. Let's see, let's pick this one. And then the drop down, okay, so pending, right? So beautiful pictures, tells me a little about the house. Let's assume that it wasn't pending. How do I go see this house? How do I contact them for any information about this house? Like, do you see that it's a beautiful website and that it's providing information, but it's not lead generating? It's not going to get you their contact information. So you guys see the difference between those types of websites? Okay. So other places that are not great to go, your cell phone number and your email address. So that, I mean, giving somebody your cell phone is good, but that puts the ball in their court. They have to decide then to give you their information. If you send them to your website and you're providing something of value, or you're getting a hold of them on Facebook Messenger, you now have an opportunity to contact them, to reach out to them when you're doing your power hour, your time in real estate. So got to give them somewhere to go. Any questions on that one? It's kind of straightforward, I think. Okay, number 2, add a Facebook pixel on your website. Adrian, what is a Facebook pixel? That sounds very fancy. No, it's not. It's just code. It's code that you put on your website that allows the interwebs to talk to each other. So someone comes off your Facebook ad or your Instagram ad, they land on your website, and maybe they don't decide to give you their contact information. Aha, but you have a Facebook pixel, which means that when you run your next ad, you can tell that ad, hey, Facebook, anybody that came to my website, I want to show them more ads. And oh, lots of ads. I want to remarket to them. It doesn't have to be related to the ad that you ran. You've literally captured them, their computer's information, so that you can show up again and again and again, over and over again, or until they clear their cookies. So when I send you these slides, there's a link here to an article on how to set up that Facebook pixel. It's not difficult to set up, but getting it on the website, depending on what website platform you're using, can be a little tricky. So if you're using Sync or Moxie, super easy. You're just plugging in a number. If you're using WordPress or something else, I probably would have to sit down with you and kind of hunt on where to stick that Facebook pixel. But this is definitely something to do before you start running any ads or boosted posts, because otherwise you're missing out on a really good opportunity to do some remarketing. Any questions on pixels? Number 3, you want to give them something of value. And in this class, we're going to call that a lead magnet. So there are different types of lead magnets. You're basically repurposing content. So you can go, like Independence Title has some really good stuff. Area guides. I wasn't going to show you this, but actually, I'll just go there because I'm a visual person. So my understanding from Dona, which is our Independence Title rep here in Buda, you can use any of their stuff. Like, they would love for you to use their stuff. I think to be safe, you might want to have a conversation with an Independence Title rep before you just start running ads with their stuff. But anyway, so things to do, let's look at that. So these are great things for people who are relocating. 53 things to do in Austin, virtual stuff, very timely things to do at home this summer. You've got a whole bunch of sports stuff, which I can't believe we're actually doing sports again. Breweries. What was the other, the one I saw? Yeah, here we go. This one I really liked. So this has got some great stuff with different cities. So the nice thing about doing these area guides is that when you drop that pin for your ad, you would obviously start with Georgetown, and then you can flower out to a certain radius to get everybody else. Or if you know, let's say that you know Georgetown is a really hopping place, but you want to target people in Houston, you would then drop the pin in the middle of Houston, spread it out about 30 miles, and then people in Houston would learn about Georgetown. So these are just some really good things as far as guides. Checklists, I know Brandy, when she makes the agent tools for you guys, some of those are checklists. Landing pages, so like the JBK home team had, you know, homes for sale in blank, under blank. You can do a webinar between you and one of your vendors, whether that's a lender, home warranty. You know, I think one I saw that was very eye-catching was carpet cleaning. Pretty much anything kind of company that cleans right now is a high demand item. So Zero Res was being interviewed by one of the realtors. And so just talking about their specials and you know, what they would do for the home and how that keeps it clean. So your goal here is to provide something of value, but not provide it for free. You are gating it. You are keeping it from them until they give you contact information, until they go to your website, enter their contact information and download it or message you through Facebook for it. This is not something you're giving away for free because this is a big ticket item. This is something that they're really going to want to have, as opposed to just a friendly post like, hey, I'm going to be talking to Zero Res later, and I think they're going to have some specials. I'd love you to come to the webinar. So something of value that is behind a form asking for contact information. Does anybody have questions about lead magnets?
Adrian,
Yes.
so you're saying to offer a webinar, where would you post that or run that on the actual website or on your Facebook?
So the form that people would fill out, so if it's a webinar, you would do a registration form, essentially. You would want to put that on your website. Unless you're using some kind of webinar software that lets you just have a link. Like we're using Zoom right now. So Zoom, you can have a free account for up to 45 minutes. And there is a registration for a webinar, and I think you can have up to 100 people on a webinar. So if you're using Zoom, you could just put a link to a Zoom there if you wanted to on Facebook.
Okay. So almost like an event, I guess.
Mm-hmm. You could do it on an event too.
Okay.
Yes. Something popped up and I think it was chat. Oh, Nina, can you give an example of an ad for an area guides and checklist? So area guides, to me, really are focused on relocation. So I wouldn't necessarily run an area guide to somebody in Austin, because those people that are going to download it aren't necessarily going to want to move. They're just going to want to know about more stuff to do. But if you run an area guide to Houston or California, or I don't know, somewhere people are moving from, you guys have a better pulse on that than I do. You know, some other location, then they will see, oh, this is really cool. I've been thinking about moving to Austin. Nina looks like a realtor that knows where stuff is. I'm going to reach out to her, going to download this guide, and it gives you a starting point for conversation. Checklists are pretty much anywhere. If you wanted to do a checklist to this area, that would be safer, just because people are going to be coming and going in the area, and so anybody, buyer or seller, depending on who the checklist is for, would be interested in that. Does that help, Nina? Okay.
Yes, that helps. Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. Thank
Chat.
you.
Good, you're welcome. Okay. Okay, so number 4, boost posts of interest. So boosting versus ads manager. Boosting is quick, and it's more effective when your target audience is not as when your target audience isn't as important as reach. So boosting, to me, in my opinion, when I do ads, is more about reach. It's more about just getting that brand awareness, getting your face out there. You could probably boost a post that had some kind of lead magnet, but I will be honest, it's not as effective. It's not as good of an ad spend than an ads manager. Ads manager takes longer to do, like time-wise longer to set up an ad, and it's much more thought through as far as conversions. So a good example would be the relocation kind of area guides. If you were to, let's see, like last weekend I went to a winery with the husband, Dutchman Winery. And if I was wanting to know more about that, I could say, hey, I'm at the Dutchman Winery and this glass of wine is amazing and there's lots of room to spread out and enjoy being outside. You know, check out my post later today about downloading a winery guide. So you wouldn't want to shove into that post the winery guide. This boosted post is more about getting your face out there in a video and possibly talking about something that's a lead magnet. Other kind of boosts you can do, things you're into, things that you're excited about, things that literally make you smile on video. Again, this is about brand awareness. It's about getting people to know who you are and how they can relate to you. Any questions on number 4? Okay, number 5. This is a really good formula for ad copy. So and this is not from my experience, this is from Katie Lance, who's a very well-respected social media guru, specifically for real estate. So you ask a question, and then you say that you have the solution, and here's how, and call to action. So example, tired of renting? I can help. Click here to download your free checklist on how to become a first-time home buyer. So it doesn't have to be that chunky, but that's like the basic formula that works really well. Shorter is better. Save your long explanation for whatever page they're landing on or whatever content they're downloading. That's where the length comes in, okay? Do not be afraid to use emojis. People love the emojis, little happy things. You iPhone people have way more emojis than I do, and so sometimes when I'm looking at it on my iPhone, it just looks like a bunch of jumbled mess. So be careful when you use emojis, because you know Android doesn't have that problem. Android talks to everybody, but iPhone is the one. Anyways, I could go down a whole rabbit hole with iPhone. Similar words on the page that they land on and the ad. So let's say the ad starts with tired of renting, blah, 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 blah. When they land on a page, the first thing they should see is, hey, you said you were tired of renting. Like you want their brain to be connected from the ad that they clicked on to the page that they're landing on. Consistency. Okay? Any questions on ad copy or feelings about iPhones in general? I know there's some iPhone people out there laughing at me right now. Okay, so number 6, an image is worth 1,000 words. We've all heard this. A picture is worth 1,000 words. You guys know more than anybody else how much nicer a professional photo can be than like, oh, hey, smile, you know. Granted, our phones can take some pretty good pictures, but when you're trying to catch somebody's attention, it's got to be nice. It's got to be a nice photo. Preferably not a stock photo, because I think people are really savvy these days to what is a stock photo from Oregon versus a home here in Austin. If you do need to use a stock photo, that's fine, but I would recommend getting them from Pixabay, Unsplash. Canva has a lot of good ones. You know, someplace where the stock photo still looks pretty nice. Number 7, an image is worth 1,000 words. A video is worth 1,000,000. I was actually going to put more zeros there. I think after 1,000,000 is a billion, and then a trillion, and then math. I don't do math. And so just pretend that video is the best. Video is the best content, period. Period. Remember, you are the brand. You need to be in the video. Even if it's for like a minute, put your face in the video. I mean, again, I could have a whole class on how self-conscious people are about video, but you just got to get over yourself. Just get your face out there with your beautiful, handsome self. You need to talk about things that excite you, because people will be able to, they will be attracted to your excitement. They will get into the video and want to keep watching it because what you're talking about is of interest to you. Now, personally, I know it's really hard to get into housing market updates. Trust me, you guys are doing great. I'm seeing a lot of you guys do housing market updates, but it's like you're reading an encyclopedia. Like, the housing market is good. It's the hot time to buy. You should sell your home. Like, that's great, and you do need to check that off your list because it is real estate related. But please do not just do only housing market videos. Like, you guys, like, I'll tell you, the one that rings true to me is Ashley. Ashley's team does a lot with Homes for Heroes, and they've got pictures of them out with the firefighters. You know, they've got a lot of really good pictures of them out doing things that they feel strongly about. I would love to see them do some video. I would love to see them have a conversation with one of these firefighters, do a little walkthrough if they could, or look, it's a fire engine. Like, it sounds dumb, but people love video. And that is the kind of stuff that's gonna keep somebody from scrolling through their feed. And again, you can use that video to talk about one of the lead magnets that you have because you don't want to just cram everything into one post. Number 8, giveaways. Do not overcomplicate this. Engagement with a giveaway is key. You want people to like, share, or comment. Now, I will tell you, when I first started working with Carlin, we were Prosper Properties, and I learned this the hard way, and I'm going to show you an example of that. I tried to use this third-party giveaway platform that was supposed to, like, push my giveaway out to all these different platforms and gather leads, and it wasn't that expensive, and it sounded like it was going to save me a lot of time. It did not, and I'll show you this here in a second. So giveaways have 2 goals. They're both brand awareness and lead generation because people love free stuff. So when they like it, share it, comment on it, their friends are going to see it and their friends are going to see it. It's going to grow and grow and grow. So you're going to hit an audience that has 0 interest in real estate. They just want a Visa gift card. So that's where the brand awareness comes in. You're probably going to get a lot of contact information at some point from people that have no interest in talking to you. So this is not as strong of lead generation. It is a dual purpose though. You're going to get some good leads and you're going to get brand awareness. So I put this one a little bit further down the list because I don't want to negate the power of this, but this is definitely not something you want to do on the regular because it's not as powerful or effective for your return on investment. Let me show you the utter fail that I did. So the concept was good. We partnered with, yay, Prosper Properties, old school. We partnered with Green Space, which I don't even know if they're here anymore. They used to have a truck over in Buda, and it was fresh juices. And so we had a $100 gift card, and what we did, I'll tell you the secret, we went 50-50. So I asked, oh my gosh, I've forgotten his name. The very nice man that runs Green Space. He put down $50, we put down $50, and then we were hosting the giveaway. So he basically paid $50 for us to advertise Green Space. So we took this post, and at first I boosted it because I wanted to see what kind of reach I would get, and then I actually ran an ad. So we tagged his business here. You can see all the wonderful emojis that I used. I made this picture in Canva, slapped his logo on there, and got a whopping 6 engagements. Because people didn't want to click on a link. I should have just asked them to like, share, comment, instead of trying to use some third-party giveaway thing. So don't do what I did. Do the like, share, comment. But you guys see the concept here of what this giveaway can look like.
have a question.
Yes.
Whenever they share it, like how, because you can't see who shares the post, right? How do you know who shares it? Do they just have to like send you, like tell them to send you a copy of them sharing it, or?
So yes and no. You can see shares. If I mouse over this, I can see Kristen Clark shared and Greenspace, the page shared, but only because Kristen's profile is public. If somebody's profile is private, I'm not going to see if they shared it. This sounds horrible. It doesn't matter. You're not going to catch everybody. You are literally not going to catch every entry from a like, share, or comment. And that's just a fact of using this platform. People don't really understand that. But as the person running it, it's just a downside. So are you going to get an accurate count of entries? No, but you're going to get enough that you'll have someone to send this gift card to.
Okay, thank you.
I have something to say on that. I did a giveaway not that long ago, and I couldn't monitor who shared it or whatnot. But what I was able to do when everybody comments on it or they like the post, then I was able to invite them to my page. There's a button that's like hovers over and it says invite them to your page. And so I thought that was more of a value than seeing if they were sharing it, because then they were going to see my stuff.
Very good point. And that goes for a giveaway, that goes for any post that people engage with on Facebook. You would go to that post, you can kind of mouse over the like, and you'll see that we invited these two people, and that, I don't know who this is. Oh, she's a hairstylist. Anyway, she already likes our page, but these two people, Hedge doesn't like our page. That makes me so sad. Those two people were invited, but they have yet to accept. So that's a very good point, Ashley, because that's more brand awareness for you, people that like your Facebook page. Any other questions about this? Okay, number 9. This one I get asked a lot. How much do I spend on ads, Adrienne? Well, it depends on how much competition's out there. If it's in the middle of the holidays, you've got every grandma and Etsy competing with you for ad space. If it's in the middle of the real estate season, you have all your realtor friends competing with you for ad space. So I always say start with about $10 a day. If you're getting way more reach and it's just too much and you're like, whoa, I'm good, you can back down. If you're not getting any traction, you can bump it up. But these days, I would not spend any less than $10 a day. Shorter campaigns are better. 3 to 7 days. I wouldn't do a campaign any longer than 2 weeks. Yeah, I wouldn't do a campaign any longer than 2 weeks for housing. We run ads for recruitment for a month, but that's a totally different target of people. People that you're going to be doing, or the ads you're going to be doing for these lead magnets, after 2 weeks, people are just gonna, they will have seen it, and they're just gonna, if they haven't given you their contact information in the first 2 weeks, they're just not going to. They're just not. Does this make sense as far as budget and season? Like you're trying to rise above the noise. Okay, number 10. One goal at a time. One call to action per ad. One call to action per boosted post. You cannot confuse people. Call or text me or email me or send me a carrier pigeon. Like, pick one of those things, okay? If you want the pigeon, tell them the address. Like, you cannot confuse them or give them too many choices. It's like my 3-year-old. Do you want Cheerios or a Sammy Jammy? If you give him more than 2 options, he's just gonna walk away and watch TV or something. So clicking the link below to register for Tips for Veterans to buy a home webinar. Like, do you see how concrete that is? It is not confusing. You know exactly what you want. They know what to do. Those are my 10 tips. And I have finished before my 11 o'clock. I'm feeling very happy with myself. Do you guys have any questions or want to dig a little deeper into anything I've gone over?
I'll probably have more questions once I start to set it up, I'm sure. So I have to go behind the scenes and set up my business page. I haven't done that yet. So
Yes, you definitely want a business page. You know, some folks say, well, no one sees the business page. I just want to do it all on my personal profile. You are welcome to do that, but you can't run ads from your personal profile. You know, I think the other part of that is my personal profile is private. And so if I want people to get to know me, I don't want them to be my friend. I want them to go to my business page. And then later on, if they want to be friends, we can do that. So Nina says, can you help me with my website? I can. If you want to, actually, when I send you this presentation, in my email signature, there's a link that says schedule a meeting with me. And you guys are always welcome to hop on my calendar. If there is an open spot, I am available. So you don't have to call and ask. You just hop on in there and I can help you out with what I can. So
Thank you.
I have a
You're welcome.
question. Do
Yes.
you see, I get mixed feedback on how long a video should be. So it used to be like 60 seconds, but now I'm seeing 2 minutes, and I don't want to like bore and lose people, but then not entice them enough. So do you know?
Well, on Instagram, it's got to be less than a minute.
Yeah.
So that's easy. that constrains you. So if you're running an ad, it needs to be less than a minute if you want them both on Facebook and Instagram. Other than that, as far as Facebook, I too have heard shorter is better, but if you can't get what you need to say in a minute, I think taking 2 minutes is okay. I think it's when you start to hit that 5-minute mark, unless you have really jam-packed that first minute with good stuff, like you have hooked that person in that first 60 seconds, you could go for as long as you want. If they're hooked in that first 60 seconds, they're probably going to keep watching it. But as far as stuff that I could see you guys doing, yeah, I would say between a minute, 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes if you've got really good stuff to talk about. Yeah. I hope that helps.
So Adrienne, I was thinking of, because I've just switched over to Realty One Group, I was going to put something on my Facebook page, my regular Facebook page, but a video saying, you know, now that I've retired from Nordstrom, I'm now doing full-time real estate, but kind of make it short and sweet, you know, just kind of letting everybody know. Because I was going to do it in words, but then I thought a video is going to be much better.
Yes.
I think, right?
Yes,
I just
absolutely.
have to write it out and see what I want to say.
Just practice it.
That's what I'm going to do, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I will be honest, most people have to do multiple takes before they get a video they like. Carlin is like the only person I know that can sit down in front of a video and just done, like one take, done. But hello, she's been doing video for a long time, a very long time. So.
Well, thank you for all your good information.
You're welcome. I
Yeah.
hope that was helpful.
I have a question.
Yes.
Sorry, before we go. So I know, of course, you want to promote your audience or new people to be your audience on your, let's say, team page or your business page, whatever. How do you tie the two? Like, I know how you're saying my personal Facebook page is private. I have more of an audience, more friends there, but I want to obviously navigate them over to the business page.
Mhm.
How do you post content on, let's say, just the business page, but still want to grow your audience? Like, how, do you just share to your personal often? Because that's what I've done in the past, but I didn't know if that was a great thing, or do you suggest something else?
I would switch it up. I would share it on the business page, post it on the business page, share it to your personal profile. And then every now and then post it both places. That way people aren't like, oh, she always shares her business page when she's talking about real estate. Like, I wouldn't black and white it. I would just do a little bit of each.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You post or like on someone else's page.
I had a question. I don't know if you just saw that on the chat.
Okay.
So can you on Facebook go on and make a comment on somebody's post as a business page, like as your business page? So it says Chris Duval, realtor, like this.
If you are on your computer, you can interact with other business pages as your page, or if you're in a group like our Agent Hub, there are some agents that have joined the Agent Hub as their Facebook page so that they can comment on things there. Those are the only two places that you can comment as your business page. You cannot comment on, like Anne Marie's personal profile. You as Chris Duval Realtor could not comment on her personal profile.
Well, why not?
Because Facebook hasn't figured out how to monetize that yet. I'm sure once they do, they'll sell it to you.
No, that's good because you just saved me hours of trying to figure out how to do it, because I've been like, how do I do it? It's driving me crazy. But I guess
No,
we can't do it then. I should have asked you this a long time ago.
No, that's okay. I will say there have been times where people like Lori, I will tag her in something from the brokerage, and then she'll share my post, the brokerage's post on her personal page. Then and only then can I comment on it as the page, because it's almost like she's invited me into that space, into that conversation. Does that
Gotcha.
make sense? Okay.
Hey, Adrian, and when you put an ad on Facebook, or you're just putting something out on Facebook, like say my personal page, do you need to put like your broker's name on that or your license number on that as a realtor?
So on your business Facebook page, yes, you need to have your IABS pinned there, and I can go over that with you. I have seen many agents post a featured photo on their personal Facebook page with their IABS just to cover themselves. But every time you do a real estate post, no. As long as you've got those kind of two things in place, you'll be in compliance.
So that's the link that you gave me when I put it on my signature for my email, right? Can I use that
Yes.
same link? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So do you put both those things, the TREC notice and the IABS, or just the IABS?
Just the IABS, because that's got your license number on it. The TREC stuff, if someone starts to work with you, they're going to get that in all the paperwork and stuff anyways.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, guys, any other questions before we go? I see Anne Marie has a helper.
He wants to say hi.
Hi.
Say hi.
Well, you guys asked a lot of really good questions. I really appreciate the engagement. I appreciate it. And then I will send out these slides here probably after lunch because I'm really hungry.
Say, I'm Lyle.
I'm Lyle.
Hi.
Hi.
Say, have a
It's so
good day.
nice to work from home with all these little coworkers.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.
That's Adrian.
Hi, Adrian.
Thanks, Adrian. I gotta run.
My grandbaby.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.